we discuss the latest news surrounding Mohammed Kudus, as currently we are in contact with Ajax to try and make a deal happen. We discuss this evening's breaking reports surrounding Michael Olise, as reports say that we have made a first bid now to sign the Crystal Palace winger. And to end things, we are getting even closer now to capturing striker wonder kid Elye Wahi from Montpellier. So my friends, tons of things to break down and discuss today. I hope you guys enjoy. Hit that like button if you're enjoying pre-season contact and our pre-season form. But before we continue on, today's video was brought to you by OneFootball. This current pre-season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting, most memorable ones that we've seen for a while. Obviously, it's basically a new look team, new manager, but some of the football we're seeing already, the goal threat, the creativity, I think that was typified in yesterday's performance against Brighton. And using OneFootball, we can look at the statistical breakdown of that game yesterday. Now, the possession was pretty even, but it became a bit more even once Brighton went down to 10 men. We aren't the finished article under Pochettino, I think that's a fact. And some of the stats reflect that Brighton are a team that are essentially a year ahead over us right now, but the fact that we can still create quality opportunities, the fact that we have more dimensions to our game where we can sit back because we have that quality to break teams down on the counter-attack, that makes me a bit excited, to be fair with you. And even though Brighton statistically kind of outperformed us in many metrics in yesterday's game, of course, football is more than just, how high you rank in terms of stats. So what are you guys waiting for? Download OneFootball. You'll find a link below in the description and on the QR code on screen too. Now, right now, we discuss a story that broke yesterday, and at the time I just couldn't cover it, but now I can finally talk about it. We discussed Mohammed Kudus, and it comes courtesy of a breaking report that came from Ornstein, confirming the fact that we are currently in contact with Ajax over Kudus. We are close to securing personal terms. We have not agreed them right now. And another bit of contextual information is that Kudus is also part of a few other guys on our shortlist currently, and I guess we're talking to all these guys, trying to strike deals and work out who the most productive, cost-effective guy is. And for me, you're really not going wrong with Mohammed Kudus. Now, this story has developed since Ornstein first broke things yesterday, and courtesy of Dutch reports, Kudus has told Ajax, listen, I want to leave, I want to go. Now, this must be terrible if you're an Ajax fan, because you're literally selling all your key senior players right now. And in terms of reinforcements, they all seem to be too young. So naturally, Ajax are trying to persuade Kudus to remain here. And the manager is basically poisoning this to him. Listen, if you stay here, you easily by far become our most key important player, where you're on track to score over 20 plus goals for the season. If you do that, and if we win something next year, you'll have even bigger clubs after you, you'll earn even more money, and you'll have even more prestige. This is the best course of action for your career. I get that, but I feel like with Ajax currently, they're at the start of a new transition, basically, and I do think it's time for Kudus to leave them right now. I think he had a very good year. I think he had an amazing season last season. And right now, I do want to give some thoughts and opinions. Now, one thing that I've been reiterating quite a lot now is that Pochettino now is introducing this new style of play that provides a lot of fluidity in the team, a lot of rotations, a lot of positional freedom as well too. And with the players we're signing, these are guys that are comfortable in many different areas and zones on the field, right? So I'm really interested in liking this current transfer strategy that we're using. And in that sense, Kudus most definitely suits and complements this new look Chelsea team that we're building. In a way, he is like a Nkunku style guy, in that he's incredibly effective in midfield, in all attacking areas, and now up front as well too. But I think what interests me about this developing story is the fact that now that we're looking at guys like Kudus that can fill a variety of different roles and positions, this is kind of communicating to me that we aren't signing a big name striker. That is not going to be the play this year. Nicholas Jackson, Nkunku, maybe even Armando Broja if he still remains here, they're the guys that will be playing up front. But by signing Kudus, you also have an additional guy that is comfortable playing as a false nine or a more advanced role up front. So I do kind of feel like even if an injury happened to someone, we have those ready-made replacements that are ready now to step in and fill those shoes. I think that Kudus is easily ready now to play for one of the very big clubs now across Europe. this guy's a match winner. I think that's what he really communicated to me even more last season. And when I'm seeing that type of development in a player, when he's adding that ability to be the most decisive key player for his team, that is the match winner, the game changer, they're the type of special guys that have the potential to play at a now like top 5 level. I mean, Kudus has the lowest center of gravity, man. He can protect the ball. He has an incredible first step as well too. He's very explosive. His body shape and positioning, the balance, the core strength, the stocky build as well too, on top of that explosiveness. And for me, it's the intelligence. Yeah, it's that mental intelligence. He's one of those guys that will play the right pass at the right time. He'll do the right action for his teammate. He'll make that running behind when he has to. And as I said, he's the guy that literally changes the pace of a game just like that. Him dropping deeper, holding the ball off his marker, little tiny drop of the shoulder, second touch, perfect, exploding away, and now you're kickstarting an attack. And as we're seeing in pre-season under Pochettino, we have a lot of transitional threat right now. And by adding another guy that is comfortable at carrying, playing in tight areas, interchanging positions with his teammates as well too, having a team full of technically adaptable and quality guys in the team makes things incredibly hard. And hopefully I'm feeling like this will finally be the solutions now that we've needed to break down these park the bus style teams. And I'm definitely open and more than excited at us potentially signing Kudus. I think it makes a lot of sense. He's got that African flair and skill and talent on top of like that Dutch mentality and IQ, and yeah, this is a very exciting player, and for a price of maybe around 40 million euros, I think it's a no-brainer, to be fair with you. So they're my thoughts and opinions. How do you guys feel about Kudus? So right now, my friends, let's break down these breaking reports around Michael Olise. Now, Fabrice Hawkins was the first journalist to confirm the story, and he mentions that we have made a first offer of 45 million euros plus add-ons on top. Wow. Now, what's even more interesting is the fact that Olise is excited by the project that we proposed to him and has agreed on principle to sign for us. Obviously, it's good news, it's exciting, but agreeing anything on principle means nothing because it's only verbals, it's nothing concrete at this point in time. It's up to us now to seal this deal. But still though, it's nice to know that some form of terms have been agreed now with Olise, and now it comes down to how quickly we can wrap this deal up. Now currently, Olise suffered a grade 3 hamstring tear during the under-21 championships, so he should miss the start of this season. It's not terrible, it's not awful, but I'm curious as to why we would make a move for him. Are we thinking that we could possibly sign him on a discount due to this current injury? I'd be very surprised by that. But regardless, when news like this breaks, expect other journalists to come in and add to the story. And of course, Fabrizio Romano had his own things to say too. And he mentioned something interesting. Right now, us Man City are showing big interest in Olise. Naturally for Man City, they've just sold Riyad Mahrez. They need someone of his skill set and profile to replace him. And Olise would be the perfect guy, right? But interesting, yeah? Allegedly, there is a 35 million release clause in Olise's contract. Now, a part of me is thinking, okay, has some like agent or someone leaked this news out and made it public to encourage clubs to make bids now? Potentially, because if clubs now know that Olise is available for around 35 million pounds, he becomes a bit of a bargain, and that might get you questioning, okay, other players we're looking at right now, maybe we put these guys to the side now because Olise is like an absolute bargain we can't afford to miss out on. So what's my conclusion on these reports? Well, I think it's a very simple one, my friends. I think both Fabrice and Romano are equally correct. And I would assume that our strategy right now is to overpay Olise's release clause to find better payment structures to pay for the deal over time. We've done this so many times that this is our go-to strategy that I'd be very surprised if we're not looking to do the same thing again to try and sign him. Obviously, I've got tons of thoughts and opinions. Now, it's quite fitting, yeah, a player that was part of our academy until he was 15 years old, of course, has the opportunity now to return back to this club. Well, another enticing factor for him could be the fact that his younger brother in Richard Olise is currently already part of our academy setup, so hopefully that's a selling factor. I do have to say this though. Right now, the right-hand side is looking extremely techie. Like, we only signed Madueke in January. We've just signed the talented Angelo Gabriel, and we all know this guy looks ready to play for us right now. Is this overkill now to make a move for Olise? I'll be honest, there used to be times when I was praying and dreaming that we would sign left-footed right wingers, and that was during the Willian era. But are we starting to reach a period now of overkill? Listen, I'm going to expound on my thoughts. As we know, we're currently looking at Kudus, but with a player like Kudus, this guy is able to play in any single position in midfield, on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, and up front as well too. So if you're adding a guy like this, it's not really about what his main position is set to be. It's the fact that this guy can play in any single one to a very high quality and level. But it gets me thinking, obviously, we've got interest in Ryan Sharkey. I can't imagine us making a move for Sharkey and Olise at the same time. That would surprise me, unless the club are preparing to make more surprise sales that we don't realize right now. Obviously, Gallagher is constantly being rumoured with moves away. Raheem Sterling has started pre-season a little bit iffy. Yeah, I think we can hold our hands up to that. Is there a potential for him to make a move elsewhere if we get a right offer for him? I'd be very surprised by that. We know that Pochettino appreciates his Premier League experience, and he said recently after that game against Brighton, listen, for all the young talent, I love it, but I need some experience because I'm at a club where I have to win. So it's a very interesting development, but I mean, come on, in terms of like pure footballing ability, I think this guy is set to be one of the leading right wingers in the Premier League for years to come. I mean, wow. The way this guy ended the season for Crystal Palace was sensational, and his skill set is amazing. I mean, not only is he an incredibly elegant, beautiful player, the drop of the shoulders, the close control, how he keeps his body open and balanced as well, that left foot does magical things. I mean, this guy's set piece ability, his crossing from any area in the field as well too, and of course his free kick taking. He scored some incredible goals for Crystal Palace, and he adds a bit of a skill set that we don't necessarily have right now in this team. He's a big game player. He's a player that forces the opposition to have to create a tactical plan to try and stop. And you think to yourself, obviously Madueke, Olise combining together, that could be very interesting in terms of competition. And these guys combining alongside Augusto and Reece James, wow, I mean, that's looking stupidly exciting. Last season, he got 4 goals and 8 assists, and that's impressive for a Crystal Palace team that aren't renowned for scoring goals and creating a lot of opportunities. But he played an incredibly important factor and just always helping Crystal Palace do whatever they do every single season. So listen, the options right now, Kudus, Sharkey, flipping Olise. I mean, the market right now is actually stupid. I'm not even blaming the club for just having their eyes on everyone right now, because every one of these guys can come here and level us up. So I guess the only thing I can say to end things is, okay, all these guys are nice, these signings are good, but my God, make sure you sign a goalkeeper. Make sure you bring in a new goalkeeper. So my friends, share your thoughts and opinions. How do you feel about the story? Right now, let's end things by discussing all the breaking news currently surrounding Elye Wahi of Montpellier. So right now, let's end things by discussing the latest developments around Elye Wahi, because we are close to reaching a breakthrough, and for me, that's very exciting and that's very promising. Now, based on the last stories, the thing that held back that deal from getting finalized was that Wahi and his team wanted to really assess first whether moving to Strasbourg on loan for a season was the best course of action. But based on current reports, especially the ones that have come out from Fabrizio Romano, it's quite obvious that he must have accepted our career path and plan for him. And for me, it makes more sense to play week in, week out in a league in which you're already very comfortable playing in. Playing for a new look Strasbourg team that you're seeing what these guys are doing in the market. They are putting their money where their ambitions are. They're signing some very exciting young talent as well too. And Strasbourg clearly have ambitions to be greater than a mid-table club. So playing for a team like that, potentially on the rise, who knows if this guy could potentially secure a spot in the Euros, but he's more likely to even have the opportunity to do so if he remains in Ligue 1 playing for the entire season. So for me, I'm really excited by this news because Wahi is a wonder kid. Teenagers getting double digits for goals and assists in Europe, like that never happens. No one does that. And the fact that at 19 years old, he bagged nearly 20 goals playing for a team where he was like single-handedly the attacking focal point. He was leading the counter-attacks, his finishing ability, his match-winning ability, his temperament, his mentals. They were key to helping Montpellier reach 12th in Ligue 1 last season. And if you're doing that as a teenager, yeah, to have that much responsibility already, like, you're not just like any normal you. Like, this is a big thing you're doing. And for us, we have a guy on our books who has the potential to be one of the leading strikers in Europe. I think what really separates Wahi from others is the fact that not only is he a strong ball carrier and he's improved his efficiency as he's got a bit stronger now in Ligue 1, not only does he have incredible transitional threat, he's very good pressing off the ball. He's not going to have crazy stats because he can't be running like crazy for a team that normally sits back and plays on the counter attack. But I think what separates him is his finishing. Like, you've heard me talk about it before. The technique, the range of it. Like, this guy's one of those guys where you feel confident when he has half chance opportunities, yeah? I mean, the guy's like body builds, his balance allows him to attempt shots with accuracy that many other guys can't do. And because I guess he's like fine-tuned his efficiency because he's constantly getting 1v1 opportunities. This guy is a very efficient finisher with his left foot, his right foot. And when he has shots, 8 times out of 10, they are hitting the target. He is not missing them. Like, to have this type of temperament at this age already, wow, it's a big thing. And every season since making his debut as a 17-year-old, I think, he's been outscoring himself season by season. So this is the right move to make, and it complements this new transfer strategy from the boards where we're not looking to spend 100 bags on guys. We want to make sure we're signing the next 100 million guy for way less at a younger age. And I think now we're developing that environment. We're building these structures with our multi-network models as well too, to really take advantage of this new way of doing business. So my friends, very exciting stories. How do you feel about them? Share your thoughts and opinions, and don't forget to catch yesterday's match review on our 4-3 win against Brighton. So I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.